Welcome back to the City of Palms podcast, everybody. Today we've got two guests, and you're both from FightZone, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Hell yeah. We have Nick Recchia and Mike D'Angelo. How are you doing?
Super duper. How are you?
We're doing good. Dude, they brought donuts. You said you can't eat it. You're trying to cut weight for a fight coming up?
I gotta cut some weight still. There's a fight coming up soon. Couple months. Talk about that in a little bit.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Let's get into it.
All right, yeah. So, I guess we'll start with you. First, I just want to know like a little bit more, like how you got into fighting.
I got kicked off the hockey team in high school for fighting, and walked into an MMA gym the next week.
No shit.
Yeah, that was back in Michigan. So, yeah, I've been a degenerate for a long time.
So what grade was that you?
That was senior year. So it was preseason, senior year. So I guess that was technically like the summer still or something. I don't really remember too much, but it happens.
Hell yeah. And how old are you now?
27.
No
27
shit.
years young. Pretending I'm 21 still.
Hell yeah. That's the way to do it. What'd you get into? You said it was an MMA gym, or?
Yeah, I walked into it was like a karate gym that had like MMA fighters, and a couple of my buddies like from school were splitting lessons like between a group of 4, and they showed me like some bullshit ass move. Actually, it was a pretty cool move now that I think back on it. But like I was like, yo, this is cool. I want to learn how to do more of this shit. So I walked in there the next day, I think, and like I was 17 at the time, and like lied to the dude, kind of was just like I'm 18 and signed my waiver, and like told him I'd bring him my ID like later, and just didn't until my birthday. Yeah, so I mean I got like a year's worth of training almost, like as still a youth, not adult.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I just haven't really stopped doing that.
That's sick. And that was in Michigan, you said?
That was in Michigan, yeah. Clinton Township, so just a little bit north of Detroit.
Detroit what?
Yeah, deep down. Yeah, I still go back there. There are a bunch of cool dudes over there. I still go back there and train every time I get a chance to go back home. So shouts out Tracys Karate when I come back.
Hell yeah.
Coming for blood.
Hell yeah. And what about you? How'd you get into fighting?
Oof. Yeah, I was pretty much like born into it. So I've been doing this. I'm 4 years old. I'm one of 5 brothers. So our dad got us into this, and we're all professional fighters and teach and have our own gyms and stuff. Yeah.
No shit.
It's tight.
Damn, that's fucking amazing.
Boom.
Hell yeah, dude.
All 5 of you are professional? What's the age difference?
We're all super close in age. So my youngest brother, who's actually my business partner, he's gonna be 25 in November. Then I have another brother named Luciano. He's a year younger than me, so he's 28. I'm 29. My next brother is about to be 31. And then my oldest brother is 36 or 35.
Wow. So then the business is teaching fighting.
Yeah, teaching martial arts, whether it be little kids. Like, we have kids in there. I have some kids in there I start at 1 year old, like little diapers. Like, yeah, so like our kids program is probably number 1 in the state of Florida. It's ranked number 3 in competition just because some of the other schools have a lot more volume. They have like 18 or 19 like outlet schools like everywhere, and they count them as one team, so it's kind of unfair. But I mean, we're always like maybe like 60 or 70 points away from them, which is pretty good. So
man, that's amazing. What's the school called?
FightZone. It's here
Fight
locally.
Zone.
It's right off actually we just moved, so we're right on 41 and Pinnacle, right where the boatyard, right next to Gator Lanes, behind the Arby's there.
Yeah, actually I
Arby's.
live by there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
right at that
that's
little
tight.
nook there.
Wow.
So it's tight, dude.
So if someone my age wanted to get into it, how would
you
how
just
would I
walk
go?
through the front door, bro, and you never
straight
look
ID.
back, bro. It'd be like one of the best decisions of your life, really. I mean, we got a pretty cool thing going. So it's basically like our own community. So we're like FightZone community. I mean, upwards towards we had close to like 800 members that were there. When we moved over, we lost a little bit of clientele because I had to close down for a little bit and build out this new spot. But I mean, we had close to like 700 people, all people through the community, dude. Like, dude, I had no judges, doctors, surgeons, lawyers, like
That's
you
awesome.
name it, dude. Like, someone's like, hey, like I need something, I got a guy, bro. Like, the perks are pretty tight. For
Hell
sure.
yeah, man, that's awesome. So, and as far as FightZone goes, do you have all sorts of like you teach boxing, kickboxing?
Yeah, it's a
BJJ?
full array of mixed martial arts. So I mean, we do everything under the sun. If it works, I'm gonna teach it to you. So the main base of it though is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, judo, and then what do we do? Yeah, that's about it, pretty much.
yeah.
I mean, I've done a lot of martial arts growing up. I've done karate. I've done taekwondo before. My striking instructors were actually taekwondo world champions and national champions, and boxers and kick. Like they've done everything. So I mean, we do crescent kicks. Like Nick will crescent kick you in your face if you need it, for sure.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's tight.
Man, that's sick.
And nunchucks.
Yeah, I know how to do nunchucks too, so don't fuck with it.
So FightZone, that's your organization, and then you fight out of FightZone.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that right?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then what? I was wondering what like your like formal training as far as like belts and shit, like what you're like formally certified trained on.
For sure.
Both of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing BJJ since a young age. That's probably the martial art that I've been doing the longest. So I have a black belt in that. So I give out a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt, which is only in the gi, which is almost kind of looks like a karate uniform, but it's a lot thicker.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't train in that gi, and someone says they're a BJJ black belt and they've never trained the gi, they're a damn liar, dude. Just look at it and be like, sure, okay, guy. It's like, get out of my face. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you have to put in the work. It's super hard. I mean, I think BJ Penn, which is a super famous fighter, I think he got a black belt in like under 4 years, which is like almost unheard of. So it's like at least 10 years you're looking at to put in the work to get a black belt for sure, or at least be a solid black belt or instructor. So we have that belt system that we give out, and then we actually have our own mixed martial arts belt system that we've been developing through my dad and my past coaches and trainer passed down to us. So it's well over 35 years into a fighting system with professional fighters. There's all kinds of people, judo players, wrestlers, like mixing stuff up and just putting a little fighting system together. So that's for the no-gi. So that's a mix of boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, and grappling without the gi on. And then we have combos, like move sets, obviously just a fighting system that I put together that you can get ranked through that as well. So you get 2 belt systems. A lot of people don't like to grapple, but I mean, if you don't do that, you won't get belted in our system. Like if you just come to striking classes, you know, you just be a no belt forever. Whether you can throw hands really good or not, bro, you're just not going to get the belt in that system. But I'll pass it over to Nick and let him do a little talking for sure.
Oof. Throat getting sore, buddy.
Never that.
Yeah, so do you have any like official like belt titles and stuff?
As far as like the belts he was just talking about, so I'm a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Second degree, yeah.
Oh.
Working on it. I just started training in the gi recently within the last couple of years. But in the DMMA belt system, I'm a brown belt, second degree, and working hard to make that next step. And that's as far as my martial arts ranking goes. I think I'm a blue belt in Kempo Karate also from back in the day.
Cross cover, baby.
Or not Kempo Karate, with the shoot fighting system.
Yeah.
Shouts out Bart Vale.
Yo.
Shoot fighters up.
Yeah, dude. I apologize if I ask any stupid questions, cause Danny he like watches fighting and shit like that a lot more than me, but I'm pretty clueless. Like my roommate has been going recently to training grounds, and he's been training BJJ and kickboxing. And I've had so many questions for him just because, like, I don't know shit. So, like, and, like, I'm just a curious guy. So if I ask stupid questions, I apologize.
No stupid questions.
Never any stupid questions, dude.
Training grounds it's a nice gym on the inside. From what I've seen of it, one of our coworkers that we bounce around like some of these clubs around here goes to training grounds.
Shout out Jason.
He got fucked up the other day though. He sent me a picture. His rib keeps breaking and his eyes like swollen shut. That kind of made him just sound like he got punked a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. He's older too. He's probably close to 40, huh? If not already.
We can go and say 42.
He's 42.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's
Probably
42.
not.
Probably not. I don't know.
He's 35.
Yeah, right. He's bad.
He's not listening to this. Like, you motherfuckers think I'm that old?
42? Fuck you, man.
Thought you turned 52 10 years ago.
Gross.
See, one thing I've always been curious about, and like I said, like I think they talk about stuff like this on Joe Rogan, but they're experts, so like they have intelligent conversations. But I'm just wondering from your guys' perspective.
Is it DMT?
No. We could get into that. No, but I'm wondering, like, if you're going up in a fight or whatever, and, like, you have your training and your stats and everything, and you're going up against someone who's, like a black belt in karate or one of these, like, Japanese, like, striking fighting styles, is that, like, is there anything that goes through your head that might be like, oh, shit, this guy? Or like, because that's a whole different fighting style, right? If someone's a black belt in karate compared to like BJJ, that means they could kick the fuck out of your head.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like to think that I could kick the fuck out of their head too. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing this shit for 10 years, and I mean, he's been doing it for like 20 something. You know? So, like, you know, like, I put in just about as much work as like a lot of these like Taekwondo black belts who get their black belt at like age 14. And like, which that'd be like, yeah, like that'd be like unheard of in something like BJJ, like where you like you can't even be under 18 and get it right for most schools. Like,
yeah, like I won't give a kid a black belt under 18. Like if I do, they'd have to be exceptionally really good, and it would be like a junior black belt. So it'd be a black belt with like a white stripe through it. But even like my other belts, like a blue belt, you have to be at least 16 to get a blue belt, and that's a lot of BJJ schools too, where you have to be at least 15 or 16 to actually get that blue belt, which is basically like graduating into adulthood. So like the BJJ belt system for adults, it goes white, and then you get 4 stripes on that belt, and then you go to blue. For kids, there's other belts. There's a gray belt, other gray belts with stripes through it, yellow belt, a green belt, and it goes by your skill, obviously, and your age. And then once you get of age, they'll slap that blue belt on you, and it's like, now you're a certified badass for sure. No doubt.
Yeah, like I just wondered the contrast between like two fighters with like vastly different fighting styles, if that's something to like take into consideration as you're prepping for
I mean, it kind of does, but it's like when someone's like that in MMA, like it's such a baby sport still. It's just mainly that's their base. Like when you're fighting a wrestler, but that doesn't mean he can't come out and just box your face in, dude, and just club you like 5 or 6 times and knock you out. Like, look, like most champs, right? They're wrestling base, solid base, but they come out and knock dudes out. You know, they come out and just stretch them.
That makes sense.
Which is pretty, like John Jones, right? Everyone knows who John Jones is. He's actually has a Greco background. He's a really nasty wrestler. Even Chuck Liddell, he was a wrestler, like wrestled through college and everything. Like his first fights in the UFC, he had wrestling shoes on and tight little shorts. It's like nobody knows that, but he uses his wrestling to stay on his feet because the dude's got dynamite in his hands. He's hit you 2 times and break your face.
Explosion in the face.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, MMA is crazy, you know? It's like you can have a game plan and get to the fight, and you get there, and it's like you're only as good as your last fight. But, I mean, someone can improve, like, a huge amount, like, in a small amount of time, like, overnight like that. Something can just click, and you can just be really good, you know? So, like, you could be studying this guy's tapes or whatever, like, get a little base on him and have a game plan, and you get there, and he's a completely different fighter. You're just like, gotta change it up, man. Gotta make the adjustments on the feet and try to break this guy's face or drag him to the ground and choke him out. So you have options. It's not like boxing or like a one-dimensional sport where it's like, okay, you're just assed out. This guy's just way better than you. He's just gonna kick your ass, or you just gotta land the punch and knock him out. You know, you can be like, hey, this guy's smashed in my face. I'm gonna take him down and just choke him the hell out for sure. Just grind him down to the floor and drag him out. You know. Yeah. So it's a lot more options. It's definitely exciting and interesting for sure.
Hell yeah, I guess if you're a professional MMA fighter, you're not just gonna be going in there to grapple the dude. You know, you're gonna know how to handle yourself in all.
Oh yeah, you're signing a contract to go in there to do violence with another human. You know? It's like, I mean, some dudes. I mean, you're definitely gonna train and prepare at least like 8 weeks. Some fighters are a little different. Like some fighters need a little longer. Some fighters need a little shorter. Depends like how you peak out, how much shape you're in, or you know. How your mental is, if you need like those 8 weeks to really get your head together, you know, to smash another dude. You're locked in a cage, ready to fight. You know, it's same thing like if someone come up to the street on you and like they want to fight. You know, your adrenaline's gonna be pumping. You're like, but you're just like hearing about this all day, every day for 8 weeks. Getting there, you know, the show lights are on. You're there a week before, signing autographs. You know, doing your little fight promo for a week, and then you gotta weigh in still. You know, some people after that, they're so mentally exhausted, they get to the fight and they're just like a deer in the headlights, you know? Yeah. They just don't really perform. So definitely got to be a gamer for sure. You gotta be ready to do it. You got to love it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah, I would have anxiety, dude, going into that.
Everyone does, bro. If anyone, unless, because Chuck Liddell claims, like, he's like, I never get nervous before fights, never got scared or never nervous. And I believe him. I watched a few documentaries on him who like, that motherfucker definitely got nervous. But I'll tell you for myself, dude, I've always gotten super nervous all the time. Even if I know, like, I'm obviously confident in my skills. Like, I think I can beat anybody for sure. I mean, that's the mentality you have to have. You have the confidence in your skills and confidence in yourself. But at any given time, you can lose like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, you definitely have to have confidence and skills and be wanting to go in there. But some people, they're just like, after that whole process, they're just so mentally exhausted that they get to the fight and they just look like a shell. Like, That's what we call it, deer in the headlights. They're just like,
Yeah, damn.
shot.
I could imagine it just being so different though. Like I've only ever been in like, I mean I've like fought friends and we train like in his garage and shit and we spar. But other than that, it's just been street fights. So it's just been like, you know, beef, having to fight. But like a professional fight where both people have like been trained and like know what they're doing, I just feel like it'd be a different thing because
It's live TV.
it's crazy,
It's
dude.
live TV.
Because in a street fight, typically, if you hit someone in the face, if you just hit them in the face, like, they're stunned for a sec, you know? So that,
Yeah.
I don't know, but like,
Well, most people just aren't conditioned. Like the human body itself, it's not made for contact like that. Like your bones in your face are all. I mean, this isn't even bone; it's just a bunch of cartilage, a mountain of cartilage. Like any little shot can just shatter that. Like your teeth can get knocked out pretty easy. The only hard, really part of your head is your forehead. I mean, everything else is really soft. You get hit back there, you can have like major memory loss and damage. Like that's why it's illegal to get hit back there. In like an MMA fight or a boxing fight, it's super illegal to get hit back there. You can like lose memory really fast or get seizures and stuff. So like technically, like as humans, like you're not even made like for contact like that or to take that. But you can definitely build your body up to take contact.
Yeah.
Getting slammed down all the time, like even your skin gets like kind of tough. Like I went and got these tattoos done, and the dude had to use like this jackhammer gun because I guess he's like, dude, you have like rhino skin. I broke two of his guns. Broke for real. It broke. I was like, and these are like, this is only my second tattoos ever. Like I don't really have that many tattoos at all, and I was just like, all right, is this normal? He's like, no. I was like, usually I do this on like big back pieces or something. He's like, this might like mess your tattoo up. I was like, let's do it, dude. It came out great. It came out pretty tight. So I was like, that's sick, dude. I got rhino skin.
that's crazy.
I know, right?
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back just for the sake of cameras. We've got a couple ads for you today, so enjoy that, and we'll be right back with Nick and Mike.
Boom.
The City of Palms podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show onto all the apps people use? How do I make money from the podcast? And the answer to all this is really simple, Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Me and Danny searched all over the internet for different outlets for distributing and recording and for websites that would host our podcast, and a lot of them you have to pay money or it's really complicated, and especially for someone just starting out. And Anchor really was an answer to all that because you can record straight on Anchor. It's very user friendly and it's totally free. We don't have to pay a penny to use this, and so it's great for anyone who's wanting to start out. And so if you're wanting to start your own podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Welcome back. We're back. Hope you enjoyed those ads. One thing I wanted to ask too is, I said that our friend has started, our roommate has started training, and he's really gotten into BJJ, and like he's pretty committed to like take it fully, and like I think he was just telling me the other day he's really trying to like make it a long-term commitment and become a black belt and like become a fighter around here and shit like that. And he was telling me how cool it is because it's more than just a gym where you go to like learn shit and like become a trained fighter. It's almost like a really cool community, like a family, you know, like every day that he goes like 5 or 6 days a week or something like that, and it's like a family vibe. And like I'm sure you feel that because you're the dude at the top, like training everybody. Sure. Is that something you see, like the people that come on and you see them, you train them maybe from when they were young up until like teenage years and stuff like that? That's probably a special feeling, huh?
No doubt. It's like I said before, man, it's a huge community. Like, I mean, I was just FaceTiming one of my students last night. He's in Lithuania right now. Fucking going to school to be a doctor, but I've been training this kid since he's 14. I haven't seen him in like 4 years, but I've been training them since they're like little niños, man. They're little babies, little fat babies. Now they're grown men just staring at me in my face. I'm like, this is weird. I'd be like, I'm getting old, bro. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, it's tight, man. I've had some kids from... Like we just got our own first set of world champions in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. 9 of them were kids and 1 was an adult. But all the kids that we did, like my first world champ was a kid I've been training since he's 2 years old. But he was 8 when he won the first world title for our school, so it was tight. Dude. I was like, hell yeah, the day one, homie. won the title.
Who's that?
Max. Shout out Max.
Shout
Cole.
out Max.
He's the next Steph Curry too. The kid's a beast. He's lights out. Yeah. He's like good at any sport he does. He's a monster.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's tight.
So Nick, as you got into, how long ago did you say you started really like doing formal fighting and like professional settings and stuff like that?
I went pro in 2016 after about 16 amateur fights, which in Florida is kind of unheard of. Like a lot of people go pro after like 7 fights down here, but I had my first 5 in Michigan, and then like my last 10 or whatever down here, and then I don't know. I was like, you know what, I'm done doing this for free. Let's get a paycheck. I'm not losing any more brain cells for a free steak dinner at a strip club. Shouts out WCFL. I do appreciate that steak.
Ralph's the man.
Ralph is the man.
Yeah, you seem like a pretty amped dude. I was gonna ask if going into that setting, going from like training into like, you know, a match where like you got a title and stuff like that. Is that something you ever like got kind of nervous about or whatever, or were you always just kind of gung ho like let's get it?
Honestly, okay. So my first title fight as an amateur, the guy backed out like a scrub like 2 days before the fight, and they flew this kid in from Chicago named Vic, who like he was visually smaller than me, and I fight at 155 my whole career, 145 coming soon. And like he was way smaller than me. Like not way smaller, he was about my height, but he was just like, you could tell he wasn't like as full as me. And like instantly I knew like something was up. I was like, this is a setup. This is a fucking setup. Come to find out, he's like this Muay Thai stud from Illinois that they flew in. And like I won the fight and I won the belt, but like that was probably like the most like I was kind of freaking out. I didn't like try and show it. Like I got in his face super intense, like at weigh-ins and stuff, and just tried to like kind of get in his head a little bit. But like I was ready for this wrestler kid, and then I found out the day of the weigh-ins that he wasn't showing up. Yeah, I'm looking around weigh-ins like, where is this motherfucking cauliflower-eared douchebag looking kid? Like, and he wasn't there. And then like they called my name, and this like not scrawny, but just like thinner kid like gets up there, and he looks like a kid still. He looked like a junior in high school, right? Like, you know, great kid. I love Vic. Shouts out Vic. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I thought it was a setup for sure. I was like, dude, they're feeding me to the wolves right now. Something ain't right. He's probably like a 10th degree fucking Don and something, and like killed people before. Like I don't know. I was young and I was like, I don't know. It was
You were a psycho.
How'd the fight go?
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good. I'm satisfied with.
W.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got the win. The belt's still hanging up at the gym. We're about to add 2 more WCFL titles to that rack this week. Not next weekend, Saturday, October 5th. We've got 2 amateurs fighting. One for the 125-pound title, and we have. How old is Curtis?
12.
One 12-year-old going in there. He's going to kickbox some kid and bring home that strap, too.
Opening the show.
Opening the show. It's going to be awesome. It's in Tampa. If you guys want to check it out, it's going to be dope. There's a video online, too. Yeah, get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
Tight, bro. Yeah, one thing I was wondering, too, when we were talking earlier, when it comes to like your opponent for an upcoming match, do you get that info pretty well in advance? So kind of like with football, you'll look at tapes of like the team you're playing and shit like that to kind of like, I don't know, like
yeah.
Research a
So
bit.
they'll hit the management team up, and they'll be like, so how's they'll ask if we've got any fighters first of all that for this weight or whatever. They'll ask specifically like in the pro level because they know like that all of us are like the pro fighters over there, and they'll ask us like how we're doing, like when we're trying to fight. We've got an event coming up here. And then, like, if we say we want to fight, they'll come back with, like, an opponent, and then we have the chance to, like, look them up and be like, you know, all right, that's a good matchup, or, like, you know, like, no, he's probably got a little bit too much experience for this guy or that guy, and it would just kind of make the right decisions on who we're going to fight to make sure it's, like, it's a good fight so both of us can kind of learn something, and the same time trying to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
You know?
So then when it comes to training, when you make the decision to take the fight and all that, is training from then on, is it smartest to just, like, do your thing and, like, harness all of your skills as much as you can, or do you take into consideration, like, what they're going to do and, like, the kind of fighter they are to like...
Well, yeah, we're always gonna watch the tape, and we're always gonna see, even someone like me who's constantly, we're all constantly growing with every fight, but, you always kind of have that fallback, you know what I mean? Like, and everyone's always going to be good at what they're good at. So you just kind of take it for what it is. You watch how they progress throughout whatever fights are online, and then you build a game plan off of that, because when you rock someone and they're a wrestler, like, they're going to go back to wrestling, like 100%, you know, like, you kick a wrestler in their face, they're going to try and grab your legs after, like, and the same thing with, like, a striker, you know, you slam them on their head, they're going to try and get back up and box your face up. So it's like, you got to be ready for, like, stuff like that, and that's what we prepare for. You know, the fight's always going to start standing up and hopefully finish with one of us on the ground. Not me. Yeah, right? I can line my pockets.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it goes back to, like, having a fighting system, too, and having a coach and, like, a strong base around you. Because, I mean, you're going to have, just like I was saying, you're going to have your base that you're good at, but you also want your fighting system that you believe in and that you know that works and that it's tested and proven. Like, hey, you just stick to these moves right here and you can beat anyone with it. And then, just like he said before, like, if this guy's a wrestler or, like, you see some holes in his game, you're definitely going to add a few things like, you know what, man, this guy, every time he shoots him super far out. He's real sloppy. Let's train a lot of fucking knees this time. But it's still the same base. It's the same combos. Keep everything nice and sharp. I mean, it's just like, you know, skateboarding or something like that, right? You got your moves you got. You're going to do it a million times in a row, and you know that's your go-to. So it's like, you're going to have your solid base, believe in yourself, believe in your system, believe in your coaches. If not, you're never going to win. There's always, you see these guys all the time switching gyms this way. They get a couple wins and they lose, like, horribly. They're like, oh, I'm going to another coach. I'm going to another gym. Like, if you don't believe in your coaches and the people behind you, that they have your back and that they're learning every day and showing you, like, how to be the best fighter you can be, then obviously you need to find a different place and find a place that's doing that for you and stay there with them, you know, and all of you guys go together, because it's all a system. Like even like Nick now, he's like one of our top pros, and so is myself and my brother and stuff like that. We have a couple other pros with them. We have amateurs coming up that were just kids, and now they're men now, dude, and they are nasty. Like our fighters this weekend, man, they are lights out. If we didn't have, like, a fight limit in Florida, at least 5 amateur fights to get a pro license, I would already turn them pro. Like, they're lights out, ready to go already. Like, they're just nasty. You know, they growing with us. They train full blown with us nonstop. Like, there's no punches pulled or anything. Like, they are basically professional athletes already. They're just not getting paid yet. So they each have 2 more fights each, which we're gonna knock out this year. Like this weekend right now, and then right after we're gonna try to have a quick turnaround. If they're not injured or hurt or anything like that, or need to take some time off, but it's gonna be tight.
Damn. So these kids are freshly 18, or they're not? They're
no,
16?
like we've been training them since high school and stuff like that, and they're men now. They're like 22, 23, 24, and they're just ready to kill, bro. They're just monsters, you know. Jeez. Like I said, just brought them up through the system. They had these guys to beat them up, you know. I mean, before I got good, I took many of butt whoopings, bro. Like, severe. Like, I mean, when I first started competing was like around 5. And, like, I never won a match until I was 10. And then from 10 to, like, 13, I never lost a match. I ripped off a bunch of national titles and stuff, like, in grappling and things like that. So it's like I took so many second places, third places, no places, like, just getting mobbed up all the time, dude. So it's like, and when we first went in there, our school was, like, just a bunch of little killers in there. Like, we went in there. I mean, we were tough-ass kids, like. I'm like, we'll fight anybody. Like, we'll get tapped out and choked. I'm like, let's go again. Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your ass. But I'm at least gonna slam you two or 3 times before you choke me for sure. Like, that was always our mentality growing up. You know, I mean, we're 5 boys in the house. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we didn't grow up in the nicer neighborhood. So it was like, people try you. It's like, let's scrap. What's good? Like, that's it. So it was like, we were always scrappy as hell. So it's like, when you get someone like that in your gym, you just see, like, yourself in them. It's like, oh, dude, don't worry, man. 3 years gonna be lights out, dude. And that's, honestly, that's what anyone, like, that's what I was saying, like, when you were asking about, like, how do you go about it, man? You just walk in the door, bro. And, I mean, obviously, if you walk in there, like, I can give you some tips on, like, if you walk in there and see some things going on, just walk right out. But, like, if you walk in there and, you know, and they treat you with respect and they're trying to have your business, obviously, at first, you know, and then you walk in there, it's like, man, it's like a family in here. that's a gym or a school that's going to take care of you and grow you. Because, I mean, my job really is to make these guys able to beat me. If they can beat me, my job is accomplished as a teacher and a coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I'm not over here just trying to destroy people. Like, I know I can just destroy this person. Like, and you'll see the difference. Like, if you ever do go into a school, man, you'd be like, man, that guy's so good. Who's that guy? Like, that dude's been here for like 3 months, dude. Like, yeah, he looks like a badass. Because it's, you're training yourself to become a weapon, pretty much. It's tight, dude. It's sick.
You're Master Roshi.
Hey. Don't make me get my stance, bro.
Yeah. Oh, shit. So, Nick, I think I asked about this earlier, somewhat, but as far as going into fighting, because you said it all started, you got into fighting with hockey, you got kicked off hockey for fighting. As far as like making the decision, like, damn, this is what I'm gonna do for try to get that paycheck. How was that? Because I don't know, because fighting is one of those things where like, you could get your ass whooped or you could beat somebody's ass, and like, I don't know, as far as making a paycheck from it, there's a lot of variables.
It was kind of natural, honestly, like, because I said I'd already fought, like, sanctioned, like, 15, 16 times already. So it was, like, at that point, it was just, like, why am I going to do this for free again? Like, especially, like, all the people I've already fought are making that next step to go pro. So, I'm going to sign this contract and get paid to fight the same guy I just fought for free? Like, run it. Let's go. Why not? And there's like a couple extra rules. Like, I can throw elbows now and like stuff like that. Like, quicker money. If I gash someone open with an elbow, I'm getting paid in less than 15 minutes. Like, when last time it would take 15 minutes to grind someone out with big pillow gloves on.
In and out. Get that paycheck, bro. Quick rounds.
But yeah, I mean, like, after like you see like the progression of the whole career, it's like when you get the opportunity to go in there to make it to the next level, you want to do it. Like, when I first joined the gym, I didn't think I'd ever fight. I just wanted to learn how to do some cool shit. And then you see the fight team training and you're like, oh, cool, I want to fucking train with them. And you never think you're going to actually fight. And then the coach comes up to you and he's like, hey, I got an opportunity for you. If you actually want to get in the cage. I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do that. And, you never think you're going to fight for a title. And then they come like, oh, we got this belt. And I'm like, all right, I got this belt, motherfucker. Correction. Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
So,
it's probably cool to have them believe in you, too. Like, to have them come up to you and say, like, hey, you're going to be on this fight team or something. Like, that
yeah,
absolutely.
Like,
that gets you fired.
Absolutely. I was stoked. I was like 18, maybe. Yeah, I was like 18 when the coach in Michigan came up and he's like, I want you to start training with the team. And I was like, woo, back, motherfucker, it's going down. And I got a bunch of ass whoopings until I didn't. And then it was time to fight. And then I got my ass whooped again.
And it probably puts,
just kidding.
It probably also puts like an extra motivation into your training too, because now you're not just trying to learn some cool shit. You're trying to you have a goal. You're like reaching for it. Like, I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna get that title and shit.
Yeah,
like that,
and it's like, especially like with the whole team setting. Like, obviously we go in there by ourselves, and like it's up to like one person. But I'm trying to every time I go in there, I'm trying to show everyone in Florida that there's nowhere else you should be training or fighting with. Like, we got this shit. Like, come fight with the best, motherfucker. Like, we're in it. We're in it. So that's like, I try to put the team on my back, though, every time I go out there.
Hell yeah, man.
So.
And did you see Nick from day one, like, that he walked into FightZone? Like, that he's been at the school? Were you ever, like, involved in his fighting and everything?
From the get-go?
What do you mean? Like, as far as, like, developing...
When he started at FightZone.
Yeah, well, I mean, Nick's a little bit of a different story because he already had experience and he already had a base, so I kind of had to, like, kind of work around that a little bit, because, like, when you have someone else that comes in, they have different tendencies, things that, are not correct, but, like, someone else shows them, they're like, shouldn't be doing that. So you gotta, like, kind of, like, make them trust you first, show them some stuff, and then go into, like, correcting their game. You know what I mean? Or, like, kind of, like, chopping stuff out. It's like, yo, don't ever do that again. That's really bad. It's like, these are the reasons why, like, 7 reasons you can get your arm broken, or you can try to do that and maybe get the guy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'll like, maybe never tell someone, like, hey, like, don't do that. That's crap. Like, I'll go about, like, showing them reasons why this is the better way to do it. And I'll give you other moves to do. Like, there's always other moves, like 4 or 5 different things to get something done, to just strangle someone or get out of a position or whatever you need to do. But yeah, I mean, as far as the last 5 years, right? Give or take a couple of years?
Yeah, about 2012.
Yeah, right? Yeah, been developing Nick as a fighter. Me, my brother, my dad as well. So, yeah, it's
Oh,
been
yeah.
fun. It's been cool to watch, man. He's definitely
I
gotten really
bet.
good. I'm proud of
yeah.
him. Hey.
And then, are you still fighting professionally too? Now that you're
Yeah, I'm actually I took the last 2 years off because I tore my ACL and had a leg injury, so I had to just get healthy and get my leg better and stuff like that. But I'm looking to get back into fighting right at the beginning of next year. I was gonna do it right at the end of the year, right here, but I just had so many other things going on. You know, you gotta balance life out. You know what I mean? So
For
with
sure.
moving to school and getting other things done with other stuff that's happening in life, so just kind of had to balance it out to where it's kind of gonna work out like beginning of next year, looking like.
yeah. Did the ACL injury require surgery or?
Yeah. I had a pretty clean tear in it, so they repaired it with my ACL, so I didn't have to have like a cadaver or someone else's like ligament put into my leg, which is actually what they do now, which is actually really good. Like my brother just had this surgery and his recovery is going super fast. Like they basically it's almost like an organ donor, so they take like someone else's that died their tendon out and they put it into your thing.
Yeah.
So it heals super fast. Usually they do like a cadaver or like they take like
They'll take it out of your
they take it out there. I think they use like pig ligaments or something like that at one point because they are genetically close to our genetic makeup, which is weird, huh?
You got a pig.
Yeah, I watched
Right? It's weird, dog. It's
something in
strange.
college. We watched a video like a
Don't
couple
quote
years
me, though.
ago. They were trying to see if they could like do like a transplant. It's like I think it was like a heart or something, like from a pig to a human. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
if they
pigs are
fucking
super
do that,
intelligent.
that
man.
person's gonna die.
That's how horror movies start.
Yeah, exactly. That person will
Cut that
die.
out.
Like the South Park movie where they put a potato in Kenny's heart.
Oh man.
Gross. Oh man.
That's so great. And then another question that I always have, because when you guys are so trained to like, I mean, you know, you mess someone up, you know what I mean? You're trained to like, to take the beating and to give a beating. So like, I just wonder how it kind of like makes you feel in everyday life. I guess as you've done it for years and years and years, you don't even feel a difference. But like me, I feel like if something happened to me, I'm not very equipped to like handle it. But then if I were to get training, I feel like it'd kind of like change my mindset on a lot of things. And I relate it to like having a really fast car, to where like when you have a fast car and a fast car pulls up next to you, you know, like, yo, if we both flirt right now, yeah, like I'm gonna fly out of here. But so it like kind of changed your mindset in that aspect. But fighting, does that change your mindset just in day-to-day life? Like, you know, if you're at a bar and someone starts fucking with someone, you could be the one to just instantly, you do one move on them, put them to the ground.
I mean, you instantly graduate from that 90%, you know, to the 10% that can, you know, you can beat up 90% of the people in the room. So it's like, I say it this way, like with fitness or martial arts training or training to defend yourself or street defense and stuff, I always tell them, like, dude, if a zombie apocalypse happened, you'd be the 90% of humans that are zombies because you're not trained. You don't do shit. You don't run. You're not in shape. Like, what if you have to run right now 4 miles straight? Like, get the hell away from zombies trying to rip your eyes out. You're gonna die, dude. You'll be dead for sure. You'll be killed. Yeah, limber up, bro. What's that, rule 2?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but no, your mindset totally changes. You become 100% that much more confident in yourself as like a person and being more like of a protector, kind of. You know, like, I mean, there are some people out there that are fucking just tool bags, man. It kind of gives me a bad taste in my mouth that it's like there are actually a lot of tool bags out there that train and they're just douchebags. Like, they start bar fights, they start fights, they walk up to someone they know they can. Yeah, they walk up to people they know they can kick the shit out of. You know, they look like they look like really not that intimidating, or like a small person, they'll just try to beat the shit out of them. I hate seeing that stuff, but for the most part, if you do learn how to train, it's humbling because like when you come in, I mean, everyone has their own idea of themselves as being whether you have training or not. You know, you're like, I'm gonna get this guy. Like I'm me. Like I can attack this guy. I can beat him for sure. But it's like, especially if you're going like, I like to put grown adults when they come in. I have teenagers in there like 15, 16. I used to have 2 instructors. They were both 100 pounds each, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls that I've been training since they're little girls, and they're 17 and 18 at the time. And they're my instructors, and they're lights out, dude. They'll choke a 30-year-old grown man, big old dude out in 10 seconds flat if they have to. So that's who I would put them with, and you know, you can just see the humble eyes just come out like.
I got training to do.
Yeah, or like, you know, you got a 16-year-old kid in there, a little skinny kid, looks like a little nerd and stuff. You know, and you put this grown adult comes in and, you know.
It was just the other day we
had
that.
It just happened the other day. One of my friends actually is a bartender at South Street. Shout out South Street. He came through and, I mean, he's a grown man, you know what I mean? And he's going with this little skinny kid and the kid just taps him out like 20 times. Chokes. Like, I mean, the kid was also taking care of him. So the kid wasn't going nuts. He was just using his strength against him. And he's calm. He's trained. I've been training him since a little baby, you know? So it's like, he knows what to do. He knows the moves. So he's like getting the moves and like being nice with him, like just slowly choking him out. He's tapping. And then sometimes it would be like, hey, yeah, don't put your hands on the mat. You know, I can go up for this one, that one. He's like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah, keep the hand in the stomach. So it's like, you definitely get like a sense of confidence from it. And you're more calmer. You're more alert. And especially, I mean, in my school, I'm training people how to do that all the time. Like, if you walk into a room, it sounds like you're paranoid or like super militarized or like, oh, like if you're in law enforcement or something, but you should do that. You know, you walk into a bar or a place or anywhere, you know, hey, there's my 2 exits. Oh, there's like 15 people at the bar. There's a bunch of old people sitting at the table. Like, don't sit with your back facing the entrance. Like, in this day and age, bro, people walk up anywhere and shoot. In Fort Myers, people just bust shots anyway, and we know that. Like, little 15-year-old kids that are trying to be gangbangers or whatever, they're just running shooting up places for no reason, you know, just to try to get street cred or whatever. So, I mean, you never know. Yeah. You never know at all. So it's like, better be prepared than sorry. And I'm sure you guys have family members or even family yourself that you wouldn't want to see get hurt. So when I go out, like, you know, I'm protecting everybody. It doesn't matter. Like, I have nieces, nephews, my brothers, I have a whole family. Like, I'm not trying to see any of them get hurt at all. So definitely, like, you become like a protector for sure. No doubt. Yeah, and then the training, it trains the mind a lot too, because when you are in a match, you have to think of every little movement and calculation, and like you have to be calm, or else you're gonna. Sure, and a lot of it's like you know, making your body and your mind work as one, because they are two different things. You know what I mean? Your mind can really throw you off, or it can settle you in, but you want to train your body to have reflexes. You know, like just like doing anything else. You know, a baseball swing, right? The hand-eye coordination, you know, the eye sees it and the body just reacts. You know, it's like breathing. You know, you don't go and like count your breath. I mean, if you're a weirdo, I guess everyone's weird if you're a psycho. You know, you're just sitting there like counting your or blinking. You know, your body does it automatically. You know, your eyes start getting dry, your eyes are gonna blink. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Drilling moves over and over, reactions, and you know your eye sees it and you're gonna react. You know, it's like going to the range and shooting, right? It's like practicing your draw, you know, you see the target, boom, your body just does it, and it just, poof. That's why, like, when some people are like, you know, it just happened like that, like, you know, I just reacted and it did it, like, if you just train all the time and do the things over and over, have confidence, like I was saying before, in your system, your body's just going to react. You're going to see the opening with your eyes, and your legs just going to be up there already, your fists is already there, and you're just like, yeah, like, so you like rip off 4 punches and like you don't even remember. You watch the tape, you're like, damn, I did that shit, bro. Yeah. Like, or you do some ugly stuff, and you're like, ew. I was like, inking, bro. Ugly. Oh, I can't believe I threw that. I did that. In every fight, no matter whether like someone else watches it and you're like, man, that was a clean fight, dude. You killed him. You're like, nah, but look at this part. Ugly, bro. Throw up on it. Yeah, I want to get into more recent stuff you guys got going on and like fights coming up and whatever, especially you've got a fight coming up. But before that, I do want to open up the segment. If you guys don't have any ghost stories, that's cool. But if you just have any like crazy stories in general, we look for like paranormal type unexplainable shit, but I don't have any, so I don't blame you guys if you don't have any. But do you just have any like crazy things that have happened to you in your life that are just like always stick in your head? I'll let you take that one so good.
Yeah, right. I should have prepared more for that. I was thinking more for like ghost stories when you asked me before. Yeah, like,
whatever you want. It could just be a little story too.
For fucking ghost stories over here. You know, at my old house on Flamingo over here, my fucking shower lights would go on and off by themselves. Like, that's like the only thing. Sure. That's the only fucking thing I can think of. Like that, and I always just kind of figured that it's because they were already on. They were just flickering, but like they would go like, I don't know. It was kind of regularly, and it was always during the day. So it was never like at night when I was like in there taking a shower, or, like taking a piss or anything with like the lights on. Like, it was always like during the day, the lights would either I left them on and they were like shut off somehow from like a short, and like they would like look off and then just like come on and then come off again. Or if like maybe the house was just possessed by the fucking devil or something. I don't know. Man, maybe Derek did one too. I was just gonna vocal tracks. Derek. Derek was hiding somewhere, just fucking trolling me with the lights.
Shout out Derek.
Yeah, Derek Colley. Fucking love that guy. Shout out all those motherfuckers. That's a ghost story in itself, dude.
Yeah.
Feast of the Antipathy.
What were you in that? What were you in that band?
I was the third guitarist. So when the band first started, it was me on guitar with Sean on like more lead guitar than me because I was the worst guitar player, and Sean and Wes were like the best guitar players. And then Wes moved, and they found someone who's like way more passionate about that kind of music, and they like hit me up like, yo, like do you want to be in this band still? Because we like found someone who like really likes this kind of music, and I listen to like punk rock, skate shit, and I was just like, dude, you guys found someone who can actually write this shit with you guys, because like it was basically them writing everything and me like fiddling around with this guitar that to me had 3 extra fucking strings, and I didn't know how to play it. Like I was like kind of learning, but like not at the rate. So like they're already like they just dropped their album, and they did like I think they're on their 3rd show since then. So. Or no, the album's coming out. I got the album. I got the album before everyone else. But yeah, so they got like already like playing shows and stuff. If I was still in that band, dude, I'd still be learning the songs that they had already recorded. You know, like I have some spots I think on some of the songs still, or like some of the parts that I would play are still on there. But as far as like being able to play through the whole songs, like I couldn't keep up, dude. Like, Sean's a monster, and I'm sure this new guy that they've got on, Colin is his name, I think. I'm sure he's a fucking monster, too. I mean, like, and you have to be to play that kind of music, honestly. Like, you have to be such a good musician or vocalist or anything. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind, dude. I thought I could do it, and then, like, I got this fucking 9-string guitar, and I was just like, yo, this is, like, I'm in, like, a different world right now. Like, I need to go home and practice. But I would bring it to the school. Like my day job is I'm a music teacher at elementary school, and I would like, yeah, fucking drop the bomb there. So a lot of the students from the gym go there too. So like my first time I was like filling out my application or filling out my paperwork, and there's like 8-9-year-olds like walk up. They're like, Nick, what are you doing here? And the manager's like, like, you know these little kids for? I was like, no, they come to the gym. It's nothing weird. Nothing weird. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
So I used to, like, bring my guitar and shit over there. I'd be like, yo, hold this. Let me gonna play. Like, take pictures of, like, these kids with, like, a guitar that's, like, the neck is, like, bigger than their face type shit. And then, I would go to the concerts and stuff when they would do like their little recitals, and I'd like take the Snapchat cutout of our fucking Feast logo and like put it on the background so that, like, I don't know, just stupid shit, dude. Stupid shit. Right, so there's like a symphony playing, and like right over like the fucking school's logo or whatever, just have like the Feast of Antipathy pentagram with like the teeth and the fucking.
She gets fired. She can fire ass.
Yeah, right. They're gonna hear this. Like, Nick, you gotta fucking go.
You're out. So, Mike, do you have any stories? Have you thought of any? It's okay if you don't.
Honestly, no, I haven't. But I mean, I punch people in the face for money and show them how to fuck other people up.
Show people the ghost every day.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nothing too crazy other than just everyday life, just chilling.
Yeah,
I like to just chill.
I feel that. So then, Nick, you said you have a fight coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I promised I'd go live for this.
Yeah, do it.
Ooh. And we live, baby, we live. Yes. So as for fights for me coming up, we got. Take my cameraman over here. December 7th in Coconut Creek, we're going to Combat Night, and it's a pro-am show, right? So the first half of the card is gonna be some of the state's best amateur fighters on that side of the state, at least. And then some of the most up-and-coming pros looking to make it to the next level. And I'll be one of them, hopefully with a first-round finish and a fat bonus. 60 G's, yeah, so that's the plan there. It's just going to be 3 rounds, 5 minutes. Unified pro rules. The same thing that you see on, like, UFC or Bellator or One FC, all these other pro. We all follow the same things, and I'm fighting a guy. Also, I think he's from Orlando or he's from the other coast. He's not from this coast. I don't think he's from Tampa or like the West Coast, best coast. So and so yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've been off for a year because I had a knee injury last September. I tore my LCL and cut that out. But
he's healthy as hell.
Yeah, I'm healthy. But yeah, so I got like a little minor injection. I'm back to 100%, and I'm close to my weight already. So I'm gonna have a really, really comfortable training camp, and yeah, that's gonna be it. It's gonna be fireworks, baby. Fireworks in the cage. I cannot wait for December. Christmas is coming early. Definitely. Definitely.
So you said December what?
December 7th. We're gonna be getting tickets here shortly. I just signed the contract last week. And I think Combat Night does that badass pay-per-view stuff too online too for like anyone who doesn't want to. But normally they're in like Tallahassee and Orlando and stuff. They do come to Miami and like Coral Springs and everything like offer.
Shout out Jamel.
Mitchie. But yeah, like so they do come to that. But a lot of the times it's farther away where like we can't always get everyone to commit to like, you know, driving to Tallahassee or something. So I think they do that pay-per-view for like $20 or something online, and it's badass production. Like every fight I've seen from Combat Night is just like getting better and better with like the lights and the music and the fucking announcers and the ring chicks and all that cool stuff. And yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I really just can't wait to be there.
Hell yeah. Well, so where's Coconut Creek?
It is in Coconut Creek, right? I said that right. It's not Coral Spring. I think it's in Coconut Creek. It's like Fort Lauderdale area. I'm pretty sure, like in between Lauderdale and Miami, somewhere like that.
Hell yeah! How do we get tickets to that? I'm trying to pull up.
We're gonna get tickets here real soon. I'm gonna have
send them, Jamel.
Yeah, Mitchie, where's my tickets? I'm gonna have tickets real soon, and there should be an option to buy them online too. You're gonna want to get them from me though, because they're all gonna be in the same section. So like I've had it before where people like get their tickets online, never with Combat Night, first time. But I've had people where the people get them online and then they're in like some random fighter section with all their fans, and like if that's
you got a FightZone shirt.
Yeah,
we're
right.
Fighting there.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's happened to me before. Like to go like watch him fight, and I'm like standing right in front of like the people that are on the guy he's fighting's team, and it wasn't like an ideal situation. Let's leave it at that. Exactly. Let's leave it at that. It did not end like in a cordial way. So, you know, but we're all best of friends now. We get along with Gracie Tampa. My apologies for that night. Not really. It was all fun and games.
And you said it's pay-per-view online too. What's the website? Do you know?
I'm sure it's going to be there'll be a link on Combat Night's website, or the best thing to do would be to follow Combat Night on Facebook and like Instagram and things like that. And then definitely follow like me and FightZone on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Well, he doesn't have Twitter because he's a scrub, but but that's where like, cause I'll be every second I get new details on the fight, like whether it's like, they're not going to change the date or anything, but like they might change like where weigh-ins are going to be. And weigh-ins are public for people who want to come. Or like they might have like when they post like the new pictures and the new flyers and like the links to where to get tickets and where to get the pay-per-view link and all that stuff and like the prices to everything. Like the second that comes out, like I share it right away. I tag everyone in. I make sure everyone knows like this is what's going down, because I need my people there, you know, like that's like, that means some of the most is like when you like look out, like, especially on that walk out to the cage, dude, when that music hits and Nick fucking screams at the top of his lungs on the top of the fucking podium, like, and I look around and I see a sea of FightZone shirts waving and I fucking swing mine around like a motherfucking helicopter. Like that's like that means the most, like it's like, you know, especially like in the cage too, like when I pick someone up and backflip slam them on their neck, like, and I hear everyone erupt, like, that makes me want to do that shit 10 more times before the round over, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So that's, like, having people there is, like, super important. So that's why every time I hear anything about, like, the fight or the tickets or the links or anything, like, let everyone know right away.
Hell yeah, bro. So that's a good transition. At the end, we just let you guys, you can look at this camera and plug anything you want to plug, any Facebooks, Instagram, stuff like that. Just try to spell it out so that the listener can search you guys.
Well, you could find me on Twitter at Nick Recchia. That's RECCHIA DMMA. On Instagram, I'm Nick with 2 Ks because I'm cute like that. Recchia spelled the same way, RECCHIA. Also follow on Instagram the FightZone. You can tell him how to spell that because
I got it
he's
down.
got underscores and stuff like that.
_fight_zone. That's where we're at. Yeah, come follow us on Instagram. Our Facebook is D'Angelo Mixed Martial Arts or FightZone DMMA. We actually have a personal page and a business page because the personal page won't block you. If you send too many friend requests on the business one, they'll shut your shit down for a few hours. It's whack. But yeah, so I converted a personal page over to a business one to kind of have it all linked together. But yeah, any info about the gym or anything like that, you guys can go on that. You'll get all the info you need on that. Any updated events or anything going on as far as fights and things like that.
Hell yeah. You guys got anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up? We reached the end, but if there's anything else you guys want to talk about or shout out, it's up to you.
I'm trying to talk about how many of those skate ramps you got in your garage over there. Well, I see
you got to bring your boards.
Yeah, dude, I wish I would have wore the Yeezys too. I would have came with I would have came strapped up if I knew you were set up like that out there. I pulled up. I was like, fuck, I might just shred these shoes up tonight. I don't even care. I don't even care. What you got in there though? You got the two big quarter pipes and the one small one?
Yeah, we've got one big quarter pipe that's real solid. That's our go-to. We have another big one that's the wood's a little rough, so we got to redo it. And then we have a smaller quarter pipe. We got all benches of all sizes. We got one that's like 20 inches or something like that, almost 2 feet. And then we've got one that's a little smaller than that. And then we got a little one that's 1 foot tall for learning shit. We got a flat bar. We got a kicker ramp.
Okay,
so
you guys set up. When are we just gonna go and pave that backyard of yours and make this legit? Let's go.
Honestly, yeah, we've been considering building a mini ramp back there.
Dude, I'm your guy. I got the hookup on wood.
He told us earlier. We won't disclose.
Cut that. Yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah, bro. This has been a great episode.
Yeah.
Thanks y'all for
Thank you
coming out.
both,
Do you have anything you want to say before we wrap it up too? I just want to ask everyone.
As far as the City of Palms goes, they know, dude. We got new episodes every Monday.
Oof.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at City of Palms Podcast. We're really doing it, man. This is our first fighters we've had on, dude. This is sick.
I know, only the
yeah.
beginning too. And we want to have. We like to have repeat guests, to follow up on shit that's going on and whatever. So next time y'all are on, we can talk about the fights and how things are going and whatever.
Oh, we should have came my last fight. I could have came the next week with a fucking big old black eye and nose.
That'd be a funny follow up.
Yeah. I have a few shout outs actually. I just want to shout out you guys, man. City of Palms, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
This has actually been super cool, man. Tight as hell. Definitely love to come back on.
Yeah,
even if it's not to re-up, just to be a special guest.
For sure, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Once we get more mics, we'll do all sorts of shit.
Also want to shout out the FightZone community. Also your guys' community. Anyone that's listening to this podcast that wants to come down and try out FightZone, they get a free week on me. No questions asked, man. Even if you don't want to join after, man, you just want to come and learn some stuff, come through and see what we're all about. Also, shout out to my nephew Caleb. Ayo, just had a birthday. We had the littest party at
Happy birthday
at Sky Zone. Yeah, it was crazy. No beer though, but it was fun. It was super tight. For days. Yeah, and then just shout out to Ben Tavares, Jorge, and little CJ, man, on their fights coming up this October 5th on next Saturday. We're gonna definitely come away 3-0, looking to smash.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Boom.
Hell yeah, man. It's been a good episode. This has been episode 31 with Nick and Mike. Thank you guys again so much for coming out. And
Change
I hope
it to number 1.
Hope y'all enjoyed. Hit him with that outro biscuit. Pretty much.